So hey, what's up SRL fans, and welcome to round 3 of season 5 here at the Russian Grand Prix. Today it's actually me up in the booth. It's me, Sandro Doulis, the league owner. Unfortunately Lance, the Kamikaze Fox, is not here today for commentary, so I'm forced to do it basically, but I'm gonna try my very best. Obviously I'm not used to commentate, but I'm gonna do my very best to give you guys a great show here at Russia. As we can see, the drivers coming out here in the qualifying session. We had 80 minutes of qualifying, and it's wet, so we have a wet qualifying session, so this is going to be very interesting. Currently the drivers are still in the pits. We are on board here with the rookie. It's Malte Lingard, the Dane, who is starting his first race here today. He's in the Williams. He just joined 2 days ago, so let's see what he can do. He's warming up his tires. Obviously it looks really wet out there at the Sochi Autodrome. As we already have a yellow flag. Here we have Brian Power in the racing point. But let's have a look at René van der Staep, our latest winner. He won last time out at the German Grand Prix, was a 1-2 finish for the McLaren team. So yeah, let's have a look at how he does his qualifying run. The drivers will do multiple laps on those wet tires because the degradation on the wet tires isn't as much, and they obviously don't have many sets, and we don't know if the race might be wet as well, so the drivers probably want to save some tires, a set of tires for the race. As we go on board now with René van der Staep in the McLaren. As he's gonna start his flying lap. He's now coming into sector 3. As we have another yellow flag. This will be a common thing. It's wet conditions and obviously really tricky. This is the great equalizer, rain, the great equalizer. Today we're gonna see who is the real master of the rain in the qualifying session here now. Tim Vantik is starting his final lap as well. We're gonna have a look at him. Coming to the first section, really tricky. You can easily pick up a corner cutting warning in this section. He takes this really nice and careful. Clever thinking. He's not trying to get a corner cutting warning and ruin his lap. As he goes off the track and makes some wall contact there, so that's his lap done already for Tim Vantik, who took the last 2 poles at Britain and Germany. As we can see, Samuel Brandt is joining the session. Samuel Brandt has picked up a qualifying ban for this race, so he's gonna start at the back of the grid together with Colin Higgins, who has also picked up a qualifying ban at the last round. So they're both gonna start from the back of the grid. As you see, René van der Staep here, he's still going quite quickly, so I imagine he hasn't picked up a warning on this lap yet, so it's not invalidated. Gets the car stopped in that section, which is really tricky in wet conditions, especially in wet conditions. And we're gonna have the first few times on the board here as René van der Staep now comes around the final corner to set his first lap time. and it's 50.6, so that's an easy first place for him at the moment, as he pulls off to the side as he's gonna do a charge lap. As we're gonna pick up Dion Stahl here, who is on his flying lap. Cameron Weston-Edwards goes second, half a tenth slower than his teammate, so it's a 1-2 for McLaren once again. As Dion Stahl comes from the final corner, he goes P3, but he's some 1.5 seconds slower than the two McLarens. That's really impressive by the two McLarens, who are showing great pace. Is Robin Herstadthagen now on his flying lap. But we're gonna pick up the big story of this race. The big story of this race is Lewis Marshall returning to SRL competition. The announcement came out 2 days ago that Lewis Marshall is gonna return to SRL after he got banned for for bad behavior last December in season 4 when he was leading the championship actually. So Lewis Marshall is back on the SRL League grid. He is replacing Fons van Hoyten, who was moved down to reserve driver because he's struggling with time issues. So yeah, quite controversial comeback here for Lewis Marshall, but he is a past winner in SRL. He has got 4 SRL League wins and 8 podiums to his name. He did all of this in 16 race starts, so really impressive stats for the Brit, who is considered championship favorite even though he missed the first 2 rounds of the season. So this is going to be really interesting to see in the upcoming races if he can make up that 40 points, the 40 points that he's missing to the current championship leader, Vasilis Peditsiotis, his teammate, who is not participating in this round of SRL League racing. He did not make it today, so we are going to possibly see a change for the championship lead today. As Lewis Marshall comes through the final corner, he sets a 48.4, which is 5/10 short of Tim Ventic, who in the meantime took the first position. So it's another pole position here for Tim Ventic at the moment. That would be his 3rd pole position in a row. So the rookie is showing up some great pace here. A driver not on the grid at the moment is Nick van Gelder. Nick van Gelder is updating his game at the moment, and yeah, we really hope he can make it in time for the race, the reigning SRL League Season 4 champion. So let's hope that he gets his update done soon, because it would be a real shame if he would miss this race. He already missed the first race as Britain 2 weeks ago. Last week he caused a lap 1 incident and spun later on as well. He only finished P10 but picked up the fastest lap of the race, which gave him an additional point. As we see Jan Holm now putting his first lap on the board, he goes P9, that's penultimate basically. Only Jure Marusic is slower at the moment. And I actually made a mistake. Nick van Gelder is in the session, so I did not see his name on the leaderboard, but he is actually in the session, so that's my bad there. I'm sorry, I will make a few mistakes. Obviously, it's my first time doing commentary here, so I'm not used to it. But I will do my very best. As we can see, René van der Stap is now on his out lap, so we will see another flying lap up from him soon. This is Ivan Brito, who hasn't set a time yet. Ivan Brito, who's having a really strong season at the moment. As he runs right, that would be an easy invalidation for the Portuguese. Who's having a breakout season, basically. He's shown some great pace, especially in qualifying. That's a great transition from him, who last season when he joined SRL had some real struggles with many incidents, and he even got banned for after the Bahrain Grand Prix after causing multiple crashes. But after that he came back much stronger than before, and since then has made a transition to a consistent point scorer. So the Portuguese looking strong at the moment, but currently he's still in last place without a time set. There are many other drivers without a time. Malte Lingard, the rookie, hasn't set a time. Reece Marsh hasn't set a time. Colin Higgins, obviously, with the qualifying ban, hasn't set a time. Lloyd Quinlan hasn't set a time either. And Samuel Brandt, who's not on the leaderboard, but he's in the session. He has a qualifying ban as well. But we're going to pick up René van der Stap for his flying lap, but he has pitted. That was weird. So he made his out lap and pitted straight away. He might have picked up some front wing damage, which we didn't catch, unfortunately. So that's what I believe could have happened. As Brian Powers out of the session, so it looks like Power has probably had an off. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that on camera. As we can see, his teammate Robin Hestethagen pitting now. With picking up Dion, who runs wide here, so this will be another invalidation for the Dutchman. The lonely Ferrari here out there today, because obviously myself, his teammate, is not on the grid today. But oh, it's a surprise! It's Jorge Carrera who puts in a great time, and he's up into P3. So that's some great pace there from Jorge Carrera, who's still 2.2 seconds off pole as he cuts the corner. You can do this here on this track. But yeah, he's 2.2 seconds behind. There's a big gap between second and third place, between Lewis Marshall and Jorge Carrera in this case. As we're going to pick up Dion Stahl here, he will be on his... This will be his flying lap. No, he's pitting. So he's not doing another lap after he got invalidated early on this lap. So he's probably going to go for fresh tires and one last run. He's still got 4 minutes left, so that's easily enough time for another run. As we're going to pick up Malte. He still hasn't set a lap time, the rookie here in his first ever SRL League outing. He's really struggling through a long left corner. He's really struggling for grip. He goes offline here, interesting. Oh, it looks like he's struggling a lot for rear grip. We constantly get yellow flags, as obviously we have a lot of runoff here at the Sochi Autodrome, so if a car goes 4 tires off the track, we get a yellow flag straight away, and obviously in wet conditions this happens even more often. So that's why we got a constant yellow flag in the top left corner of your screen. As we can see here, comes back again. Most of the drivers are currently in the pits, preparing for their last run, coming out of the pits then. This will be total chaos because, yeah, drivers will fight for track position, so they have clean air for their lap. That will be really interesting to see. Hopefully we don't see a Monza 2.0. Obviously that won't happen because of their slipstream is useless at this track, and especially in the wet. But everybody will be fighting for track position, as we can see Malte coming through the final corner now, as he is going to put in his first lap. He goes P10. Only Jan Holm and Jure Marusic are currently slower than him. As the first of the top runners to come out to the outlap is René van der Stap, as we pick him up here. He cuts the corner. Obviously you can do that at this track, you don't get a warning on your outlap. Robin Herrstadthagen on his outlap as well. So let's have a look at what tires everybody's wearing. René van der Stap is on fresh wet tires, so he's using another set. Robin Herrstadthagen went out on a set of 1 lap old wet tires, so he's saving himself 1 set for possibly the race. We don't know how the weather forecast is looking for the race. As we're gonna check out René van der Stap now, who's gonna go on his flying lap here in a moment. Nick van Gelder's come out now as well, but this is interesting. René van der Stap goes into the pits straight again. He might have not enough fuel? He might have had some contact with the front wing? This is really weird. That's his qualifying session done for sure, because he doesn't have enough time to go back out again and set a lap, as his teammate Karen Weston-Edwards is now coming out. So this is, yeah, interesting for our most recent race winner. René van der Stap is, yeah, this is his qualifying session over. He will drop down the order probably if drivers like his teammate Cameron Weston-Edwards or Nick van Gelder improve their lap time. Gonna pick up Tim Ventic here, who is also on his outlap, so everybody's coming out now. Lewis Marshall also out. He's right behind him basically. Dion Stahl is on his outlap, so the top runners are on their outlap now, so we're gonna see some flying laps here soon. I think I can see intermediate tires here on Tim Ventic. Yes, indeed, it's intermediate tires. So let's check if the others are on intermediate as well. Yes, they are. So that explains why René van der Stap pitted straight again. He messed up his strategy. He went on wets, but the track seems dry enough for intermediates now. So this is a game changer. That will mean that René van der Stap is going to lose a lot of positions here if everybody's going to go out on intermediates now. This is dramatic. Yeah, the track is drying up. We can see there's not as much spray as there was like 5 minutes ago. Oh wow, so that's gonna be really interesting here. This is 1 lap that counts. But the time has run out. The time has run out. There won't be no more laps. And it actually has happened. It has happened. Italy 2.0 has happened. Nobody is gonna be able to put another lap in, at least not from the top runners, as the time has run out. As you can see in the top left of your corner, it's 0-0-0. And they all crossed the line. Or was this a bug? This is interesting. I'm kind of confused right now, but I think I can confirm that Tim Ventic and a few other drivers are still going, even though the time was run out when they crossed the line. So maybe this is our time in the top left. Maybe it's not synchronized with the guys in the game. This is a bit weird, but yeah, Tim Ventic is definitely on his lap now, and he is definitely up, as we can see him behind. I think it might be Nick van Gelder who's approaching him. He's approaching him now. Yes, it's Nick van Gelder. So this will be interesting. Nick van Gelder is gonna get blue flags here, but he's not getting out of that way. He's probably on his flying lap as well. Tim Ventic is definitely getting some dirty air here from Nick van Gelder. He's stuck behind him. But Nick van Gelder is not moving over because he's on his flying lap as well. As we can see, Williams off the track. Tim Ventic is gonna improve his time for sure. He does. It's 47. We're gonna pick up Lewis Marshall. It's his. He needs to beat this lap time now. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Lewis Marshall goes pole position ahead of Tim Ventic and Nick van Gelder. It's 6.8, 0.6 seconds of a gap between those two drivers. Impressive lap by Lewis Marshall. Who else is on the lap? Cam Weston-Edwards is still on the lap. He comes through the final corner. Wes Edwards goes P3. So Cam Wes Edwards takes P3. Wow. And some nice guy said in the that we have had a time glitch, so that's why. So it's Lewis Marshall gets his comeback pole. He is starting from the first place. Next to him on the front row, it's the third front row start in a row for Tim Vantik. Then it's Cam Weston Edwards in P3. Nick van Gelder starts P4. Jorge Carrera with a great P5. Then it's Dion Stahl in 6, the lonely Ferrari. Rennie van der Stap drops down the order with his master of strategy. He's starting P7. Roman Herschelhagen in P8. Reese March in P9. Brian Power rounds out the top 10. With rookie Malte Lingard in P11, then it's Jan Holm in 12th, Jurgen Milicic in P13, and Colin Higgins, Louis Quinlan, and Ivan Brito have not set a lap time. Colin Higgins obviously with his qualifying ban, and was not on this list was Samuel Brandt, who has a qualifying ban from the last race, but he's definitely going to be on the grid as well. As we can see, the current conditions on the track now are sunny, so not unlike the qualifying session, we will have a dry race. So this is going to be a change for the drivers. They will have to look at maybe changing their setup quite a bit, and it will be free tire choice as the qualifying session was wet, obviously. So this will be interesting in terms of strategies. Multiple drivers will choose different tire compounds, so this will be a really interesting race in terms of strategy. Obviously makes it a bit more difficult for myself as a commentator, but hey, we always love a challenge. Lewis Marshall has had a lot of success in SRL League racing in the past, but he's actually never scored a podium. A pole position, my bad, excuse me. A pole position. So this is his maiden pole position, his SRL comeback after 9 months of absence. So it's the Brits' first pole position. Tim Vantik starting second behind him. Reigning champion Nick van Gelder is starting P4. But let's have a look at the tire compounds. This will be interesting. Okay, so the top 3 are starting on the soft compound tire with Lewis Marshall, Tim Vantik, and Cam Weston Edwards starting on the red wall tires. Nick van Gelder and Jorge Carrera, interestingly, starting on the medium. So they're gonna do a longer first stint with Dion Stahl starting on softs again, and Rennie van der Stap starting on mediums. So yeah, that makes sense because he's trying to make up positions after his messed up qualifying session. He's gonna stay out longer and gain time, as he thinks that he's quicker than the cars in front of him, which I can agree with Dion Stahl and Jorge Carrera. Rennie van der Stap has shown a lot of pace in the last few races, especially. You can see Sammy Brandt is in the Ferrari. This is incorrect. He's actually a Haas driver, but as he joined mid-qualifying session, he didn't have the option to choose his Haas car, so the game just put him in the random car, which is the Ferrari in this case. Don't worry, he will be scoring points for the Haas F1 team. He's just in the Ferrari in this race. He's starting on the soft compound tires as well, as everybody's warming up their tires. So this will be round 3 of season 5 on F1 2019 of SRL League Racing. The Russian Grand Prix. We've got a comeback driver on pole position, the strong rookie Tim Vantik in second place, and Cam Weston Edwards, who is having his breakout season at the moment in P3. This will be interesting. Drivers approaching the grid now. Some drivers that got disqualified in the during the formation lap are already in their grid slots. Is everybody gonna park their car now? And we will be ready to go here at the Sochi Autodrome. And it's a long hold. This... And lights out, and away we go here for the Russian Grand Prix. It's a great start for Cameron Weston-Edwards, who's attacking Lewis Marshall for the race lead. It's another great start for the Brit, just like last time out at the Hockenheim ring. Cameron Weston-Edwards on the inside. They are free wide approaching turn 1. And it's Cameron Weston-Edwards who takes the lead against Lewis Marshall. He pushes it off track a little bit there. As they go through the left, long left-hander. But it's Cameron Weston-Edwards who's leading this race. Jorge Carrera is in P3. There was some drama behind them. Some multiple drivers I saw going off the track. Jorge Carrera in a podium position. René van der Staep is dropping down the order, so something must have happened with René van der Staep, who's currently second in the championship. This would be drama. Yeah, René van der Staep is only in P14. He's stuck behind Louis Quinlan. I unfortunately didn't catch what happened to him. But he's definitely stuck back at the grid. As Lewis Marshall is now right behind Cameron Weston-Edwards. Will he make a move? He thinks about it but sticks back as Cameron Weston-Edwards goes defensive. So it's the same thing which has happened in the last 2 races, with Cameron Weston-Edwards getting an amazing start and going into the race lead. Cameron Weston-Edwards can definitely be considered a master of race starts, at least at this season, as he will have to defend his position here now, because Lewis Marshall is in a slipstream as we go on board with the Brit. He's in the slipstream of Cameron Weston-Edwards. He tries to go for the outside, but Cameron Weston-Edwards goes defensive and keeps his position, but Lewis Marshall got the better exit. He's going to go down this inside for the long left-hander. Side by side they go, and it's Lewis Marshall who takes lead now with Cameron Weston-Edwards right behind him. Blocking goes on as Cameron Weston-Edwards tries to get the position back, but it looks like Lewis Marshall is going to take the race lead here. He's going to pick up Nick van Gelder here, who's currently in P5. So I think he also started P5, so nothing has changed there. This is Malte Lingard in his first SRL start. Looks like he's stuck right behind Brian Powell for P8 this is. And look who's already behind him. It's Samuel Brandt, who came from last place. So he's moved up 7 positions in the span of 1.5 laps. As Malte Lingard picks up... Oh, it's a collision here. Contact between Malte Lingard and Brian Power. Lingard previously picked up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner. As this is a real scrap going on here. This is... Robin Herstadhagen fighting against René van der Staep, or contact made there between Malte Lingard and Brian Power once again. Robin Herstadhagen trying to make the move now as DRS is activated. We unfortunately missed the pass for 5th place between Dion Stahl and Nick van Gelder. René van der Staep goes for the move there on, and it's a spin for multiple cars. René van der Staep goes around. So does Robin Herstadhagen. I think René van der Staep tried to make the move there on... Oh, I don't know who it was. But that's definitely front wing damage. I also saw some parts flying from a Red Bull. This must have been Jurma Rusic here. As Nick van Gelder drops another position against Reese March now, as he already lost the position against Dion Stahl. Wow. So let's see if... I think René van der Staep might have picked up damage here. Yes, his front wing is definitely damaged. He's forced to pit now. And since he started on the mediums, he now has to go to the end on the hard tires, which is the worst tire for sure. So yeah, this will be really difficult for René van der Staep to score points at this race. So really unfortunate for P2 in the championship. This is definitely gonna hurt. As we pick up Cameron Weston-Edwards, who's lost the position to Tim Ventic. And all the drama, we unfortunately missed this. But he's still in the DRS window, as it looks like. Now he just dropped out. He's now He's now second behind. He's still got DRS, but it looks like Tim Ventic is just quicker at the moment, as Cam Weston Edwards has dropped 2 positions since the start now. As Reese March is defending his position from Nick van Gelder. March runs wide though. And currently in the pits are Ivan Bricho and René van der Staap. They are changing their front wings. Nick van Gelder was struggling with rear tire grip at the last race at the Germany. He spun twice, once on lap 1, causing a big pile up. The Dutchman was really unhappy with his performance, only picking up 2 points, 1 for his position P10 and 1 for the fastest lap he picked up. He's gonna be looking to make this up, as he's trying to defend his championship title, which he picked up last season. The season 4 champion Nick van Gelder. Jorge Carrera is currently the highest up medium tire runner, so he has had a really strong start, as we have to consider that he's on the much slower tire than the guys around him. So strong start to the race by the Portuguese. As Nick van Gelder is now going to try to make the move on Reese March with DRS, but he looks to be too far behind. He tries the move, has a look, but it wasn't enough. It was not enough. As Louis Quinlan and... oh, there's some contact made. Both of us shoot the corner, Louis Quinlan and Brian Power. But it looks like Louis Quinlan keeps the position here. No penalties, so only warnings probably for this incident. Interesting. As Nick van Gelder is still stuck behind Reese March. This race will be a one-stop. The tire degradation around Sochi is not big, so we will see one stop by probably every driver. As René van der Staap is in the pits again, and he does not change his tires. So what's going on there for the Dutchman? He's stuck in the pits. This was weird. He's changed his tires. He's now on the medium compound, but they did not change his front wing there at McLaren. So really weird stuff there going on for René van der Staap, but he's definitely out of the contention for points at this race. As Lewis Marshall is still leading the way here, 1.6 seconds ahead of Tim Ventic, who has caught up to him by a few tenths in the last few laps. So it looks like the Renault driver can challenge for the race win here against Lewis Marshall. Cam Weston Edwards has dropped off quite a bit. He's now 3.8 seconds behind Tim Ventic. He's getting caught up by Jorge Carrera on the medium compound tires. So Carrera really got some pace in his Alfa Romeo today. As we can see, Nick van Gelder has made the move on Reese March now. Nick van Gelder is also on the medium tires, just like Jorge Carrera. Let's have a look if Reese March will try to get the position back, but no, he sticks back behind Nick van Gelder. As we can see, Louis Quinlan makes his pit stop. He has moved on to the Red Wall soft compound tire, which is weird. He will not be able to complete the race with that. Somebody in the chat says that René van der Staap has gone into the pits again because the hard tires are too slow. Yeah, that's correct, but why did he go on the hard tires in the first place? Maybe a mistake? This is interesting, but we're gonna look at the battle for the lead here with Lewis Marshall still leading the way, but the gap has come down to 1.3 seconds between Lewis Marshall and Tim Ventic. So Tim Ventic will be in the DRS window here really soon. Talking about DRS window, Jorge Carrera now in the DRS window of Cam Weston Edwards. 0.8 seconds is the gap here at the moment. As Jorge Carrera picks up a 3-second time penalty through the final complex of corners. This is not optimal for the Alfa Romeo driver. to go on board here with him. He's in a slipstream DRS. He got much more speed here. He tries the outside against Cam Weston-Edwards, but Cam Weston-Edwards goes defensive. He's at the middle of the road, make it difficult for Jorge Carrera to make a move. Great defensive driving here by Cam Weston-Edwards to defend his podium position. Jurma Rustic has made a pit stop. He's in the pits now. And joining this battle is Dion Stahl. Dion Stahl is caught up to both of them because currently Cam Weston-Edwards is holding up Jorge Carrera. So Dion Stahl is catching up to this battle. Dion Stahl will have to pit soon though. He's on the Red Bull soft compound tires, just like the two leaders are. And Cam Weston-Edwards is as well. As Reece March is right behind Nick van Gelder still, so there's a battle going on between them. Behind them it's rookie Malte Lingard, who's having a strong first race here. He's running inside the top 10. So this would be great for him. As this will be another round of DRS battling. As they are all inside of the DRS window, Dion Stahl will consider making a move here on Jorge Carrera. But Jorge Carrera got DRS as well from Cam Weston-Edwards. As Dion Stahl makes a mistake, he outbrakes himself. No change of position. On board with Reece March. And we got a change for position here. It's side by side between Cam Weston-Edwards and Jorge Carrera. Jorge Carrera got past him for a second and they made contact. Jorge Carrera has to be really careful here to not get front wing damage, because that would be fatal for his chances for a podium here at the Russian Grand Prix. Jorge Carrera in his slipstream. The outside is really difficult to overtake. He tries to make it work though, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. He got past him for a second. We didn't have it on camera, unfortunately. But Cam Weston-Edwards is putting up a real fight here, as he usually does. As Sandro Doulis myself, I have witnessed this in the last few seasons. Cam Weston-Edwards is definitely the most difficult driver to get around. He's just always fighting hard, no matter what, for what position it might be. He's always defending for his dear life, which makes him a true racer. But now Jorge Carrera got another one with DRS. He's gonna try to go down the inside now, but once again it's just not enough. As Malte Lingard had a look down the inside of Reece March, as Jorge Carrera picks up another time penalty. Side by side between... Oh no, it's contact! Contact as Reece March got forced off the track by Malte Lingard, and Malte Lingard pushed Reece March into the wall, and oh no, this is terrible news for Reece March, who has picked up front wing damage. Luckily, he is not out of the race, because that was a big hit into the outside wall there. Oh man, he's gonna have to pit now, and that's a long way back as well. He has to still have to make another a whole sector. He's yet to go, as he picks up a time penalty for running off the track. As Jorge Carrera got past Cam Weston-Edwards now, and the gap between the leaders is down to 0.9 seconds, so this will be DRS window now. So Tim Ventic will have DRS going on to the long straight. I think he's still too far back to make a move, but he's definitely inside the window now, which will make it more easy for him to get closer to Lewis Marshall and the race lead. Reese March is in the pits now. He will have to change his front wing as Cam Weston-Edwards picks up a time penalty. He has to be careful with that. Too much of that lows and his great finish will be ruined, just like last week when he was looking to get the win of the German Grand Prix, but he had too many time penalties and ultimately gave the victory to his teammate René van der Steur. As you can see, Tim Ventic is now right behind race leader and comeback driver Lewis Marshall. So Tim Ventic, the rookie, who has got 2 podiums to his name so far this season, 2 races, 2 podiums, but no victory yet. He's in the slipstream as Malte Lingard is out of the race. So what has happened to him? The rookie in his first race is out of the race. He looks to be way back in the runoff area. Oh, it's really close between Tim Ventic and Lewis Marshall. Tim Ventic is in his gearbox. He will be looking to make a move with DRS into the first, well, basically the second corner. As Ivan Breacher retires off the session, he's out. Oh, Tim Ventic got a run here on Lewis Marshall. He's right in his gearbox. They make some contact, I think. Side by side as they approach turn 2. But Lewis Marshall got the inside and defends his leading position. Tim Ventic got a better run out of turn 3. Through the long left-hander they go now. As Samuel Brandt has got past Cam Weston-Edwards, who's in the pits now. So Cam Weston-Edwards is pitting for medium tires, so he's gonna go till the end of the race. As we pick up the battle for the lead once again. Some superb close race in between those 2 drivers. This will be another opportunity here for Tim Ventic as he is approaching the second DRS straight. He's gonna have another look down his inside probably, if Lewis Marshall does not defend the inside, which he does, but Tim Ventic does the fake on him, but Lewis Marshall still defends the inside. So Tim Ventic is forced to stay behind the Brit. We're also approaching the pit window as Lewis Marshall goes into the pit, just as I said it. Lewis Marshall is making his pit stop, so he's saving himself from Tim Ventic trying to make the undercut on him. Clever thinking by the Mercedes team. As he's gonna pit for the medium compound tires, he's gonna go to the end of the race. Jorge Carrera goes by on his medium compound tires, so Jorge Carrera will probably take the lead when Tim Ventic pits, as Jorge Carrera is gonna stay out longer. Bjorn Stahl gets past. Nick van Gelder's in the pits as well. Quite early for the medium tires to pit with Nick van Gelder. Oh, this is not optimal. Lewis Marshall is coming right behind Samuel Brandt. So he's going to be stuck in his dirty air for at least this lap. And Dion Stahl is out of the session. Dion Stahl is out of the session. Dion Stahl has crashed somewhere on the racetrack. How has it happened? There it is. Dion Stahl is out of this race. He was running inside the top 5. What a shame for the Dutchman. He's probably lost it on the exit curb and made contact with the inside wall. So this is going to be another race for Ferrari without points. Wow. As Lewis Marshall is making the move on Samuel Brandt now. Easily done. Samuel Brandt is a clever driver. He probably knew that Lewis Marshall is much quicker on fresher tires, and he's battling for the lead against Tim Ventic, who is going to pit now. So this will be interesting to see how much time Lewis Marshall lost in the dirty air of Samuel Brandt. So Tim Ventic trying to make the overcut work. He gets the fresh tires. Medium tires on, and out he goes. Now let's see, where's Lewis Marshall? Lewis Marshall is coming through the final corner now. This could be really close between the 2 leaders. Tim Ventic exiting the pits now, accelerating, going through turn 1. And here comes Lewis Marshall. He's through turn 1 as well. And he's got by him. He's got by Tim Vantik. So Lewis Marshall keeps his leading position. And the gap is exactly the same as it was before the pit stop. So wow. Really impressive here. But Tim Vantik is going to have 1 lap fresher tires, which is not a big deal at Sochi because the tire degradation is not huge. Currently leading is Jorge Carrera. He's going to stay out longer on those medium tires. But he's going to pit soon as well. Reese March has moved onto the hard compound tires after his front wing damage. And Tim Vantik picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is suboptimal for Tim Vantik because that means if he overtakes Lewis Marshall now, he's going to have to build a gap of at least 3.1 seconds to not lose his victory. Wow. All he has to hope for Lewis Marshall to make a similar mistake and pick up a time penalty as well. As we are halfway through the race now, Tim Vantik is right behind Lewis Marshall. This is some really exciting racing here. Nick van Helder picks up a 3-second time penalty. This will be another run with DRS here for Tim Vantik. He really needs to try to get through the inside of Lewis Marshall going into turn 2. But Lewis Marshall does a great job of defending that inside line. Just not enough. Just not enough for Tim Vantik. Look at this. Samuel Brandt has made his pit stop and is running P7 as Colonel Higgins retires of the session. He is the 4th retirement of the race. So this is Samuel Brandt, who got a qualifying ban for an incident between him and Dion Starr in the last race at Germany. He started last, made himself and put himself from P17 to P10 in the span of 1.5 laps. And he's running in P7 now, so he's made up 10 positions. And he's legitimately P7. He's made his pit stop. So there's some great stuff here from Samuel Brandt, just putting up a great comeback race, comeback fight. As we pick up the battle for the lead once again. And those two have checked out. They have checked out of the field. The next car behind them is Canvas and Edwards. He's some 12 seconds behind those two drivers. So Lewis Marshall and Tim Vantik are in a class of their own in this Russian Grand Prix. As Lewis Marshall puts in the fastest lap of the race, 135.7. Remember, in SRL racing, you get a point for fastest lap, so would add up 2 points total. And this would help answer the question that everybody's asking themselves. Is it possible for Lewis Marshall to fight for the championship even though he missed the first 2 races? If he wins this race and picks up the fastest lap, he would pick up 26 points. And as current championship leader, Vasilis Petitsiotis is not scoring in this race as he's not participating. Same goes for Rennie van der Stap, who is running far behind. He's currently in last place in P13. He wouldn't pick up points either. So this would be a really, really important victory for Lewis Marshall. As we all know how good his pace is, and he will be a consistent contender for wins this season. As Tim Vantik has closed down the gap again, it's down to 0.4 seconds. That's the closest he has been to Lewis Marshall since the pit stop. So he needs a really, really good exit coming out of the last corner. He needs to put the power down to get a good run and then pick up the DRS and try to make the move into turn 2. On board with him now, as Jorge Carrera makes his pit stop. So this is actually the legitimate fight for the lead. Tim Vantik goes down the inside of Lewis Marshall. And Tim Vantik is through. Tim Vantik takes the lead of the Russian Grand Prix, as I think Lewis Marshall got a little bit surprised by Tim Vantik. Tim Vantik now has to build a gap of at least 3 seconds, so his time penalty will not cost him the race win. As we're gonna look where Jorge Carrera comes out. Jorge Carrera comes out in P5 right behind Nick van Gelder. But Jorge Carrera is on fresh soft tires now. Nick van Gelder's soft tires are already 4 laps old. So this is going to be a 3-way battle here now, as Nick van Gelder is only a second behind Ken Weston Edwards, who we can see here. Weston Edwards is on the slower medium tires, so this will be interesting. As the question now is, can Lewis Marshall get the position back, or is he just going to lay back on DRS and take the win by penalty? This will be interesting to see, but he got a run on Tim Vantik into this tight section here, but he's not able to make the move. Nick van Gelder in the slipstream of Ken Weston Edwards, but he's too far behind. Lewis Marshall is in the DRS window of Tim Vantik, and he definitely got a run. Is Tim Vantik gonna go defensive? Is he gonna block the inside line? Lewis Marshall's too far back. This is tight racing here. Nick van Gelder right behind Ken Weston Edwards. This will be an overtake for P4. For P3, this is the last spot on the podium. Ken Weston Edwards goes defensive as he usually does, and keeps his 3rd place. As Louis Quinlan goes into the pits. Remember, he made a pit stop really early on, so he has to go for the 2-stop as he picked up front wing damage early on. We talked about René van der Stap. He actually made himself back into P11. Obviously, he is gaining positions by other people's retirements. This could actually still be a points-scoring day for René van der Stap, who is now actually in the top 10. As Jan Holm retires off the session, so this is another retirement for Jan Holm. It's side by side for P3. Nick van Gelder tries to go around the outside of Ken Weston Edwards. There's contact made. Contact between Ken Weston Edwards and Nick van Gelder. And this is now Jorge Carrera joining the battle. Nick van Gelder tries the inside through here. But Ken Weston Edwards holds on to the position. And it's for the lead. Lewis Marshall goes down the inside of Tim Vantik, and he's through. So Lewis Marshall is back into the lead now. Tim Vantik, can he go by? He tries the outside. But it's not enough. Lewis Marshall retakes the lead, and we have to look back at the battle for 3rd as Nick van Gelder goes past Ken Weston Edwards for 3rd place. What an exciting Russian Grand Prix this has been so far. We got still 10 laps to go in this race, as Ken Weston Edwards takes the lead, takes 3rd place back, and Jorge Carrera has a look as well. Nick van Gelder has to stick back, and Jorge Carrera is looking at this battle and thinking, man, if those two mess up, I'm in an easy podium position. As Samuel Brandt, the next driver behind those 3, is 20 seconds back. As Tim Vantik had another look here on Lewis Marshall for the race lead. Now, Nick van Gelder is going to try it again. Oh, this is tight with the wall. Close stuff, but Nick van Gelder is through into 3rd place. And what was that? Ken Weston Edwards just completely missed the corner. He got front wing damage, and he picked up a 5-second time penalty. He just completely missed his braking point. And this will mean that Ken Weston Edwards has to pit for a new front wing. What happened there? He just completely missed his braking point, going into that tight corner. And yes, indeed, this is Ken Weston Edwards pitting Wow. So mistake by the Brit, who has done such a great job so far in this race. Remember early on he took the lead with a great start, dropped down to P3, he's serving his 5-second time penalty for corner cutting now. This is gonna drop him all the way down to P7, possibly? Wow. So from 3rd to currently 6th for Weston Edwards. He will definitely go after the fastest lap now as he's on fresh soft tires. What a shame. What a shame. This could have been his 3rd consecutive podium finish. As Lewis Marshall still the race leader. Jorge Carrera is currently right behind Nick van Gelder. So this will be the next fight for the podium. Jorge Carrera has fresher tires than Nick van Gelder, 4 laps fresher soft compound tires, and he's through. Jorge Carrera into a podium position. Could this be the Portuguese first podium finish? Wow. Impressive stuff. What a stunning Russian Grand Prix as Lewis Marshall picks up the fastest lap of the race. As we're going to do the run through the field, presented by Plan D, the official partner of SRL League Racing. Lewis Marshall in his comeback race, he's currently leading the way after fighting hard against Tim Ventic. But yeah, Lewis Marshall currently leading 0.7 seconds behind him with a still possible chance to win this race as Tim Ventic. Remember, he has picked up a 3-second time penalty. The rookie has looked strong so far. It will be interesting to see if he is going to try to attack Lewis Marshall for another time. Behind him, it's Jorge Carrera in his currently best SRL position, 3rd place. As the Portuguese makes a mistake right now, right behind him it's Nick van Gelder, the reigning SRL League champion after disappointment at Germany last week. Can he bounce back and get a podium finish? It will be interesting to see. Behind them it's Samuel Brandt. Samuel Brandt with the qualifying ban has started in last place and he's already up to P5. Don't get distracted, he's not a Ferrari driver, he just got put into this car by the game because he joined mid-session as Reece March picks up the fast lap of the race. Ken West Edwards took the lead early on at the start of the race, he got a stunning start. He has dropped down to P3 but recently made a mistake, outbroke himself and got some front wing damage. He was forced to pit and dropped all the way down to P6. Louis Quinlan is currently running in a solid P7. This will be a great points day for the Brit, who hasn't had the greatest start to the season so far. Randy van der Stap, he had some contact on, I think it was lap 2, dropped down to last place, stopped again for a fresh set of medium tires, and he's bounced back to P8. Obviously he has had some good luck with people retiring. But he is back in the point scoring position, which would hand him over the championship lead from Vasily Speditsiotis, who is not racing today. In P9 is Robin Herstertagen, the SRL League rookie in his 3rd race, would pick up a 3rd point scoring finish, so it's a great day for the Norwegian. And the last point would go to Jure Marusic, who's currently running in P10. Jure Marusic, happy to have him in the race. He hasn't had a lot of participations recently, but he's now running in P10. As we saw Reece March picking up the fastest lap of the race. Reece March had contact with Malte Lingard earlier on. He was running in a great P5, I think it was, but he was forced to pit and he's now running in P11, but he just recently picked up the fast lap of the race. And if he can get closer to Jure Marusic, which he does, he can possibly pick up another point. And Brian Power is currently running in last place. He's gonna be hoping for people to retire to still get a point or two, as the gap between the leaders is still under 0.5 seconds, with Tim Ventic right behind Lewis Marshall. So this was the run through the field presented by Plan D, the official sponsor of SRL League Racing. As Jorge Carrera has picked up a 3-second time penalty. I'm not sure how many penalties Jorge Carrera has at this point, but this might cost him his maiden podium. as Rumor Rusic has lost the last point paying position, as Reece March is back into P10 now, so he's back into the point scoring positions at least. And with him being inside the top 10, this would make his fast lap count as well, so this would put him on 2 points at the moment. Tim Van Dijk is looking really strong at the moment. He looks to be the quicker one of Lewis Marshall and himself. He would have to overtake him pretty soon, because remember, he got a 3-second time penalty. He has to build a gap of at least 3 seconds to keep his victory if he crosses the line first. He's gonna make the move now on the second DRS straight, and Tim Van Dijk goes back into the race lead against Lewis Marshall, as Lewis Marshall has another look down the inside. Wow, there's some contact made, but Tim Van Dijk keeps the race lead. So Tim Van Dijk is back into the race lead here at the Russian Grand Prix. We've got, if this time by, we're gonna be 5 laps to go, and we still have no idea who's gonna win this Russian Grand Prix. What an exciting round 3 of season 5 here at the Sochi Autodrome. Lewis Marshall is going to be looking to bounce back here on the start-finish straight. He's got a big run with DRS and slipstream. He's going to go for the inside line into turn 2. Side by side through turn 2. Tim Van Dijk gets pushed off the track quite a bit. That's some hard racing between those two there. But Lewis Marshall gets past Tim Van Dijk and goes back into the lead. Those two have been fighting for the lead all race. And nobody seems to be able to escape and build a gap on the other one. So this is some great racing. They both seem to be as fast as the other driver. This is what we want to see. This is what we came for. This is why we league race. As Tim Van Dijk will have another shot at the race lead on the back straight now. He needs a good exit out of this corner. He's in Lewis Marshall's slipstream. Lewis Marshall goes defensive. He squeezes him towards the wall. But no problem for Tim Van Dijk, who makes an easy DRS pass. But as we've seen for the last few laps, the DRS on the main straight is much more powerful. So we will probably see another possible overtake there from Lewis Marshall. In a few moments here as they go through the final corner. Lewis Marshall needs a good exit coming out of here. He's going to be looking to make a move on Van Dijk. Though Van Dijk had a really good last sector. He put a gap between him and Marshall of 0.5 seconds. But Lewis Marshall is there, but he looks to be too far back to make a move. As Louis Quinlan picks up a time penalty, there will be a lot of shuffling around with the positions after everybody has crossed the line, with all those penalties being applied. Though Van Dijk seems to be gapping Marshall right now, I feel like Van Dijk has saved his stuff and he's trying to build the 3-second gap he needs now. But most importantly, he needs to get Marshall out of the DRS window to make it possible for him to escape Lewis Marshall and build that 3-second gap he needs to make up his penalty seconds he gained early on in the race. As Reece March goes into P9, he is just past Robin Herschelhagen, but we're going to stay with this battle here because obviously this is for the race win and this is what we want to see. It's going to be 3 laps to go when they come over the line. The gap has stayed the same. Tim Van Dijk definitely seems to have much more pace right now. But like I said, he needs to get Marshall out of the DRS window because otherwise it's just not enough time for Van Dijk to get to build that 3-second gap if Marshall keeps on gaining on him on the straight. But this time Van Dijk has kept his gap as Van Gelder picks up a 3-second time penalty. This will be interesting for third because I think Jorge Carrera has picked up multiple time penalties. I think this was Van Gelder's first penalty. I honestly have lost track of the penalties at this point. Don't blame me for that, there have been a lot this race. As oh, Lewis Marshall picks up a penalty. This is crucial. Lewis Marshall picks up a 3-second time penalty, and with that, him and Ventic are equal on penalty seconds, and this is the legitimate battle for the lead. And Tim Ventic picks up another penalty. What is going on? Now Tim Ventic has got 6 seconds of penalties, and Lewis Marshall has got 3 seconds of penalties. So this once again will put Lewis Marshall in a winning position if the race ends right now. Wow. So first Lewis Marshall picks up a penalty, makes both of them equal on penalty seconds, and Tim Ventic picks up another penalty straight away and gives his advantage away. Wow, drama on lap 25, and we are basically in the same position as we were before again. Lewis Marshall runs wide through the penultimate corner. As Cameron Edwards has closed down the gap to Samuel Brandt. This will be for P5. Remember, Cameron Edwards outbraked himself early on and had to pit for another front. Oh, Louis Quinlan is out of the race. He was running strong at P7. What has happened to the Williams driver? He's left the session. There it is. There's his Williams. I think he clipped the outside wall. Wow, drama for him. That's unfortunate. He was on for a good points day. What I was about to say was that Cameron Edwards has closed the gap down to Samuel Brandt. Remember, Cameron Edwards outbraked himself early on the race, hit the wall, and had to pit front wing. He was running P3 pre his accident. This could be for at least a top 5 finish. That would be a nice recovery by Cameron Edwards. Talking about recovery, Samuel Brandt has had a great recovery day, coming from last place. Great job by the Haas driver, who's running in the Ferrari in this race, obviously, because he got put into the car by the game because he joined mid-qualifying session. As we're gonna have another look at the battle for lead, as this is gonna be the last lap that both of them are gonna start now. Tim Ventic is currently the leader, but he has got more penalty seconds than Lewis Marshall. And I strongly doubt he's able to put a 3-second gap on Lewis Marshall in one lap. Weston Edwards will have DRS on the front straight, and he will definitely think about making a move. This is for P5. That will be 10 additional points for Cameron Weston Edwards. His teammate René Fennerstep is in P7 behind him. This would put him into the championship lead against Vasilis Beretsiotis, who wasn't able to make this race. As we go onward with Weston Edwards, he's got a 1 on Brandt. But it's just not enough. Looks like Brandt is running some really low wings and got some better straight line speed. Oh, down the inside. What a move by Cameron Edwards. He surprised Samuel Brandt through the long left-hander. And he's through. Wow. Stunning overtake by Cameron Edwards. But right now, we're going to pick up P2 and not P1 because Tim Ventic has got more penalty seconds than Lewis Marshall, and it's gonna be Lewis Marshall who's gonna be taking his 5th SRL League victory. What a drive, what a comeback. Lewis Marshall wins the Russian Grand Prix. After 9 months of absence, Lewis Marshall takes the win at Sochi. Congratulations goes to him and the Mercedes team. It's Tim Ventic finishing 2nd. It's gonna be Jorge Carrera finishing 3rd on the line. But will it be P3 in the end, as he has a lot of time penalties? Nick van Gelder, reigning champion. Will he get the final step on the podium? No, he isn't. It's career best finish for Jorge Carrera, who's gonna finish P3. Behind them, it's Cameron Edwards and Samuel Brandt. It looks like Weston Edwards will be able to hold on the position, but I think he got penalty seconds. But he's gonna keep P5, so P5 for Kevin Edwards, P6 for for Samuel Brandt. He's gonna be really happy with that finish, as he came from last place. Ronnie van der Stap had trouble early on, but he recovered to a solid points there. He will be the championship leader after this race, as he finishes P7. Reese March, another nice recovery after he got pushed in the wall by Malte Lingard early on. Reese March is going to finish P8 and pick up some nice solid points for the House of One team. Robin Herschelhagen comes home in P9. Those were all lead lap cars. And there he is, Lewis Marshall. On his SRL comeback. Takes the victory for Messias. Wow, what a drive. And with him on the podium, it's Tim Vantik. This is I think that's his third consecutive podium. No, he didn't score a podium last time out. It's a second SRL podium, and it's Jorge Carrera with his career best finish and a podium for Alfa Romeo. Really happy for all three of them, especially for Jorge Carrera. He'll be really, really happy with this result. As we are having a look at our final results, it's Lewis Marshall winning on his debut. Not his debut, on his comeback. Tim Vantik, the rookie, in P2. Yeah, he ruined his race by the penalty points. Simple to say. It's Jorge Carrera in P3, his career best finish. Great stuff by the Portuguese. P4 for Nick van Gelder. Cameron Edwards and Samuel Brandt have had a great day in terms of recovery. It's 5th for Weston Edwards and 6th for Brandt. Randy van der Stap, another comeback drive for the Dutchman. He comes home 7th. Reese March in P8. Robin Herschelhagen with another points finish in P9. And the final point is going to go to Jure Marusic, who comes home P10. All the other cars are retirements. So yeah, this has been the Russian Grand Prix. We will go into the autumn break, basically, as there won't be a race until, let me look it up quickly, until the 2nd of November. So no races, unfortunately, throughout October. But yeah. Stay tuned in terms of news and standings on the SRL League Instagram account. Link is down below in the description, as always. You can also check out the SRL League website. Link is also down below in the description. And if you want to support the SRL League with... we also always need some financial help. You can go down to the link and click on the Patreon link. You can become a patron and you can gain some exclusive prizes and rewards for becoming a patron. Link will be down below in the description. The review video will be out next week. We will have a look at the standings and the highlights of this race. What a stunning race this has been. I've been Sandro. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see the rest of Season 5. Live here on YouTube, of course. I've been Sandro Doulis. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. And goodbye.